Leicestershire lost their last 7 wickets for 48 runs as, not for the first time this summer, they collapsed on the final day of a match they'd been reasonably well placed in, as they lost by 108 runs to Glamorgan, for whom Will Bragg had earlier scored his maiden first-class 100. Glamorgan was set for an early declaration when they resumed on 146 for 4 to lead by 229, but they lost Jim Allenby in the morning's second over, edging Claude Henderson into Will Jefferson's bucket hands. Bragg had begun the day on 67. 6 times this season and 8 times in his career he'd made a 50 but had been unable to convert it into 3 figures. He was in a determined mood to end that run as he continued to find the boundary off the spin of Henderson and Jigger Nake. Nake grabbed the wicket of Mark Wallace for 15 as he was very well held by Jefferson at 192 for 6, with a lead now at 275. 40 minutes into the day, Bragg arrived at his moment to remember. On 99, he played a controlled sweep to deep mid-wicket to take him to 3 figures for the very first time. Rightly, he received a standing ovation from the Colwyn Bay crowd. He needed 162 balls to get to his milestone. He was out 10 runs later, leg before to Nake, and after an hour of play, Alvaro Peterson called his players in with his side on 216 for 6. That left Leicestershire 75 overs to score 300 to record their first win since the opening match of the summer. They've been set similar targets this year, only to fall away badly, but they started well enough here as Matthew Boyce and Jefferson opened up with a stand of 21 in the first 5.5 overs, although Boyce rode his luck a little. It was his partner who went first. Jefferson had made only 5 when he spooned a catch off Willow into Peterson at mid-off. It was a shot which belonged more to Mardy Fish. The last time Leicestershire had been looking to knock off a target on the last day, they were dismissed for 34 by Essex, but there was no danger of a repeat of that as Boyce and Greg Smith got on with the job at hand. Glamorgan were not helped by a side injury for James Harris, which meant that he didn't bowl after lunch, but he wasn't needed as Boyce on 28 yorked himself as he went on the charge to Robert Croft. At 55 for 2, Smith was joined by James Taylor, who was hoping to celebrate his call-up into the England team for their one-off game with Ireland next week. He got going with a 6 while Smith played some shots at the other end, including hitting Croft for a 6 of his own as Leicestershire moved on to 91, now 209 runs shy of their target. Smith was going along nicely and scoring 43. He could hardly believe it when he then played down the wrong line to a ball from Dean Koska and was bowled. Josh Cobb, as he's done in many one-day games for his county this season, played some attacking shots, including a couple of 6s to take the total along to 143, and his side were well placed until he was out. On 44 made from just 41 balls, he was leg before to Koska at 143 for 4, and that started the collapse. Taylor followed 2 balls later, although he looked surprised to be given out LBW to a ball from Will Owen, which nipped back. Taylor had made 17 and was finally dismissed after spending 7.25 hours at the crease in this match. Leicestershire went to tea on 147 for 5 and now had the final session to knock off the remaining 153 runs. Wayne White and Paul Dixie had both scored 50s in the first innings, so with them at the crease together there was still hope. They added 29 for the 6th wicket. But from there it all went horribly wrong again for the visitors. With a total on 172, White was the latest to be given out LBW, Allenby the successful bowler this time. Croft then had Dixie caught behind for 15, Wallace holding on to a sharp chance. Allenby in a fine spell dragged a delivery back off the pitch to bowl Henderson for a duck. Jigger Nake fell for 19 as Owen came back on to bowl him for his 3rd wicket. And with 13.5 overs of the match left, Allenby also took his 3rd wicket by trapping Nathan Buck right in front. From 143 for 3 and then 172 for 5, Leicestershire had been dismissed for 191, giving Glamorgan a victory by 108 runs. It was their 3rd successive victory at this North Wales ground, and it earned them their 4th win of the season. They are now one of 6 teams in the LV County Championship 2nd Division to have done that. They took 22 points for their efforts, while Leicestershire took just the 6 to remain rooted to the foot of the table. With Kent winning their second match in a row in Canterbury, the wooden spoon is almost certainly theirs. Leicestershire are now 49 points adrift.